Hey everybody, Colin from Track Attack here, and we're going to be doing another paddock review at Safe Auto. Today, we're going to be pulling out a very special, rare and exclusive German super sedan. Today, we have a very special car to look at. We have the 2020 M5 Jahre Edition. Jahre Edition? Jahre Edition? Anyway, you can comment and let me know how to pronounce that. I'm not sure, but I just know that's what I read off the paper. Anyway, this is a very special car because there are only 350 of these produced, and obviously this is one of them. So we're very fortunate to have a chance to get up and close and personal with this very special machine. Now, the first thing that stands out for me in this car is the paint. This is a special paint made exclusively for this car. This is frozen dark gray metallic. BMW claims it has a special pigmentation that creates a silk matte surface. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know how well it comes out in film, but up in person, this is a really unique finish on this car. Definitely stands out from the average paint job. Now, the other thing which is really special about this car is the unique wheels. So this car is equipped with 20-inch light alloy wheels that are finished in a special gray finish. And of course, you can see that this one has the gold brake calipers that match the gold theme of the interior as well. In terms of the exterior, it's pretty much the same as a normal M5 competition. Nothing else really all that special about it. Obviously, the performance of this car is still the same. Mechanically, it still has a twin-turbo 4.4-liter V8, making 625 horsepower, so it's still an amazing car in terms of performance. Let's go on the inside, though, because that's where this car does excel a bit over its standard M5 counterparts. The inside of this car is your standard M5 sort of affair. Of course, you have these lovely appointed seats, got some good bolstering on them, beautiful leather, nice and soft and comfortable. They even have the kind of light up little M5 logo on the headrest, which is super cool. The rest of it's very nice, very tasteful, very German, very efficient. Not a ton of style in my opinion, but that is kind of the way BMW rolls. They keep it very clean. Again, you have this beautiful LCD dash. I really like that in the new one here. You have this giant iPad looking sort of display up here. Now, what sets this one apart, of course, and I'm sure you can see right away, is this stuff right here on the dash. You got some trim down here and up here. So this is the aluminum carbon structure that's been gold anodized. And yes, it took me a few tries to remember that. But again, it does add a really unique visual element to the inside of this car, especially when the light hits it. It definitely has a very cool gold sheen to it. It looks very rich, very expensive, very BMW, I must say. Now, another thing I love about this car is the key. It's like playing a video game every time you want to use this thing. It's awesome. So you can see it has the LCD display on it here. I'll try to turn it back on. It's all touchscreen. It's very cool stuff, very cool tech. Again, kind of reminds you, this is not your Honda Civic. This car costs a little bit more when the key itself comes as its own little Game Boy. Yes, this is a very special car. We know it's very rare, being one of 350. Now, the one thing about this car which makes it really special, in my opinion, from a performance standpoint, of course, is that it is still a big, heavy, four-door sedan. In fact, let's get out and look at something. So the big thing to consider with this M5 Comp is that it is still a four-door sedan, and a big one at that, and a heavy one on top of that. This thing weighs about 4,400 pounds. That is not light by any standard. Yet, at the same time, this thing still has unbelievably good performance. It has awesome brakes on it, it corners with the best of them, and even more importantly is the straight line acceleration. This thing is incredibly fast. In fact, I remember once filming a video for another YouTube channel that we raced one of these against a Dodge Demon, and I'll give you one guess as to which car won that drag race, and it wasn't the Dodge. And now, of course, the reason why I was able to beat the Demon in the drag race was because of the incredible engine. So let's pop the hood and take a peek at this engine. So the heart of this car is the engine. It comes equipped with a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, and this spec produces about 625 horsepower. Now that's good enough to propel this car from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 3 seconds. Now that is incredibly impressive performance when you consider how big and heavy this car actually is, and the fact that it's still a practical, 4-door, comfortable daily driver, and yet it still has those kind of performance numbers. That is just mind-boggling. Now, of course, BMW is well known as one of the founders of the sports sedan segment, many years ago with names introduced like the M3 and the M5. Of course, these cars are still practical cars. They're still luxury sedans and coupes, but at the same time, they deliver performance and the driving experience of a top-tier sports car. BMW has been the benchmark for doing that for many, many years, and this car is meant to really showcase that. So obviously 35 years is meant to commemorate the time they have been creating these marvelous driving machines. Now, this car obviously still has top-tier performance and will compete with the best sports cars out there, but it'll do so in a handsome luxury package. And of course, this one has a little bit extra bling in with it as well. I have to say, we're really fortunate to have a chance to get up and close and personal with this car today. Being there's only 350 of them around, it's very cool to have the chance to sit in it and really look at all the really special details BMW have included in this machine. Now, I have to say though, this thing does come at a premium. You have to pay an extra almost $22,000 over the cost of the regular M5 if you want the privilege to have this special machine. That makes for one very expensive car when you consider the regular M5 is already well over $100,000 to begin with. That's a lot of money for a 4-door sedan that you're going to drive every day, probably through the winter and the summer. Most people probably won't winter drive a car like this, but frankly, if I was going to spend that much on a 4-door car, I'm driving it all year round. But I'm not sure I want to spend that much money on a car that I'm going to drive in the ice and snow being here in Canada. So at the end of the day, I have to say, the M5 Jahre Edition, however it's pronounced, again, please comment, let me know, because I'm sure I'm messing that up, is a very special machine. I do love the paint. I have to say it's one of my favorite parts about the car. The gold bits on the interior are very cool. Not my cup of tea though, but I still have to say, as great as this car is, it's not something I think that I would lust after, especially for that price point. I think we reviewed a special Audi wagon not long ago, and I think I'd rather take that given the opportunity. So that's my take on this car. What's your take? Please comment in the section below and let us know what you think. Are you one of the lucky owners who has this car? Share your experience with us. Are you a fan of this car? Let us know what you think. Do you not like this car? Send your hate. We love it. Let us know what you think. And of course, as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe so you guys will not miss out all the great content coming up, because next week we are going to be pulling out a very special car from the vault. So stay tuned and we'll see you at the track.